Alright, I click start streaming. My stream status is okay. Hey guys, and welcome to the stream. If y'all are in here, let me know by saying some stuff. And also, can you please let me know the quality of the stream, because my stuff has been all over the place recently, and I just want to make sure that you guys can see what's going on. What's up, Conspiracy? So we'll see. But basically today I'm going to be making a new tutorial on tracking objects and either using Premiere or After Effects, having a lot of fun with it. And I'll show you that this is what I created earlier. And it's like this neat little POV tracking effect, so that whenever you track something, it will actually track the camera to a particular point. Now, when I filmed this, it was a stationary tripod shot. However, in post, you can kind of do this cool little tracking effect. It's really awesome, and I enjoy it. And you can see what the normal video looks like right here. This is what the normal video looks like, no tracking. And then when you apply this tracking stuff onto it, it actually pulls the camera to the actual stuff. So it's really awesome. I enjoy it. What's up, guys? From Algeria. Looks like another video. Elaine, what's going on? Follow my passes. Quality is good. Well, awesome. I'm trying to figure out the best quality for you guys. It's kind of tricky, but General Merv, hey boss, what's going on, guys? Appreciate the support. So if you're just joining me, we're gonna figure out how to track like this stuff. This is what I just did in After Effects using the tracker and null stuff. However, I was trying to figure out a way to track within Premiere Pro, because After Effects is great with tracking, but I want to do it all within Premiere Pro if I can, because that would be awesome. So my computer's running a little slow right now. That's probably because I have multiple windows open. So I'm going to close that thing, pause this guy, and we'll just jump on into it. What's up from... That's what I'm going to try to do. So I know there's a way you can do this in Premiere, and that's what I'm going to be playing with. So I have this clip right here. And in this clip, I am walking, and I pull out my cell phone. And when I pull out my cell phone, I pull up to my ear, and then I play with it. I throw it around a little bit, and then I put it back in my pocket. Well, maybe I just walk away. So the key is to, ideally, as soon as I pull it out of my pocket, zoom the camera in onto my phone, and then hold the camera in that position, probably in like the center or something. So I think I know how to do this right away, and it's basically going to be just using the transform tab or using the motion tab, because if I drag on transform, this would be a lot easier to do in After Effects, mind you, but I don't want to use After Effects. If I drag the transform, I want to double click on this, and I can't click and move this around, which is I don't like, because that's what I kind of need to do. Maybe if I go to position, no. So, but if I go to motion, I can click and drag that around. So that's what I want. So I don't need transform. So what I'm going to do is pick a point and use that to track everything too. So since I don't have a point, I need like crosshairs or like a little square or something. So I'm just going to create a new color mat. And this color mat will be a little black color mat, so I can drag that over my clip and use this as a reference. Now it's really dark, so let's go to the Effects Controls tab, and now all I need to do is under the Opacity tab, create a like rectangular mask, and then I'm going to manipulate this mask to make it like a point. So I'm going to just drag these ends and make it like a point that I can use for strictly reference. This point is just a reference point. So I just made a little arrow, and I can put this arrow ideally anywhere, but I'm going to start it down by my hand. So now that I know that anytime I move this footage around, talking about my footage behind, I will have to move it to this mask. And I don't need a feather on, so I can just delete that feather so it's sharp. We got some people from Russia. What's going on, Arrow? Best of luck. Thank you. From Iraq. What's going on, guys? Grainer Rice said, yo, Kyler, When did you color your hair? Looking good. Yeah, so my hair is actually gray/white. It's going through a fade. I did that about a little while ago. I just wanted to be a little different, and this is what it looks like. So kind of like it. It's a lot of fun. So thank you. VHS effect. Aubrey, I will work on that. I know some stuff on YouTube, but I'm trying to think of how I can make that unique and to my own. So now that we have this little mask thing right here, all we're using this for is a point that we can always change our scale to. And this will make sense in a little bit. So all I'm going to do is move this mask up a little bit, and then I'm not going to touch it. So that's right there. So we're going to use the underlying video layer and just lock our mask layer, since that's just for reference. And what I want to do is manipulate the scale and position, and I can zoom in a little bit. And so when I pull the phone out of my pocket, let's go back a few frames. So right here. So this is where I want to start the scale and position. When I pull the phone out of my pocket, I want to zoom in to the phone. So I'm going to zoom in to probably about 150%. And let's zoom into 200%. Since I shot this in 4K, I won't lose scale, just so it's dramatic. Now I also have to move my position and scale to my marker. I'm going to use this marker to keep everything in the center of my phone. So this will look like something like this. We're walking up, and it zooms into my phone. And if I wanted to, I can easy ease both of these ease out, so that it like boom, and then it slows, and then it goes quick right into that. Now for the rest of this footage, I have to make sure that I keyframe all of these frames so that my motion stays in the center of my phone. And to do this, all I'm going to do is jump a few frames forward and then click on my clip and move that around to go to the center of my clip. This is probably the most efficient way to do it within Premiere. Since motion tracking is one of those things that will take a long time no matter what software you use, get used to it, because if you spend the time, you can make this super effective and efficient. Notice I'm jumping 2 frames at a time. Most people who do professional stuff will literally go frame by frame. So let's get caught back up. Dude, I'm watching right now while I'm working. You got any travel? So my travel plans potentially will be Canada, hopefully in the next month or so. I still have to flush that stuff out. Milan, what's going on? I've never been there. Premiere Pro, After Effects. So Premiere Pro is what I'm doing this effect in. You can do it in After Effects. So now that I've done a couple frames, I want you to see like what this is going to start to look like. If I scroll forward a little bit, we'll basically be clipped onto this phone, as you can see. And it's not perfect because I'm not going frame by frame. So see how like right here we jump forward a little bit? If you go frame by frame, it'll actually be more effective, but this is what it's going to start to look like. So see how like instantly we're like starting to get following the phone. That's the general effect. Now if you go into After Effects like this, it's a little bit more of an efficient program because you can use these things called trackers, and these trackers will track your pen tip or whatever you want to actually smooth out that motion. However, it takes a little bit it's a little finicky, I'll just say that, because it doesn't track your pen exactly how you want it, and sometimes it gets caught on things. So motion tracking is a really hard thing, but I think once you understand the basics of it, you can actually apply it to anywhere. And this is why I want to do this whole thing in Premiere, because if I do it in Premiere, then I know that there's actually no use of After Effects, because I know some people don't have After Effects. So looking at this, I think jumping a couple frames doesn't look that good. And I could right click on all these and go to Bezier, so it smooths out that transition. But again, that probably also won't be the smoothest, because if you go through here and click, you'll see that it's not perfectly on the center of the phone. So ideally, the only real way to get this to be perfect is to literally go frame by frame. And how I'm doing this is I'm going 1 frame in the right direction, and then clicking and dragging my clip around. And the reason why I can click and drag my clip around is because I have it selected on this motion up here. All you have to do is select this button right here, and that'll give you the ability to do that. And for this example, I'm going to make all these linear so we can see what it starts to look like. Yes, so I think that linear has a nice little jump effect. So we'll see what is going to go on once we do a couple frames. Go another frame, and you don't really need full resolution. Like, I can bump this down to a quarter scale so I can go back and forth. The only thing that sucks a little bit is I can use my arrow keys to move this, but when I go back, in order to jump one frame, I have to click over here, click the right arrow key, and then jump another frame. And again, I can use the arrow keys to move this once I click over here, which is actually pretty nice. So then I can get it like pretty custom. And I'm pretty sure if you hold shift and the arrow keys, it'll jump a little bit quicker. So let's go back over here, right once, click back over here, hold shift, and move this around till we get where we want. That looks good. Over here, shift one frame, move this around, boom. That looks good. So you can choose a point on your phone. I'm just choosing the general center. And then we're going to keep repeating this process till we get a couple frames, because I think using one frame at a time is going to be the most effective way. It's a lot of clicking. It's a lot of tedious work. But once you get done with it, it will literally look awesome. So I'm just going to kind of spend the next couple minutes going through here and asking you guys questions if you have any. Feel free to ask me anything. And now I did shoot this at 6. So hopefully we're back. I think we just had a little connection error there for a second. So sorry about that. I had a little error. I don't know what was going on. Maybe it's my streaming service. So I might use a different streaming service for the time being. But now that we're back, yeah, cool. So I don't get a lot of viewers on my live stream. They end up watching it after the fact, and that's totally awesome. Like, I get it. People are sometimes busy and they can't like watch the stream when it's happening, and I understand. Like, relating to those people are awesome, but as long as they watch it later, that's definitely awesome to me. So yeah, like I said, I'm gonna go a couple more frames and then see what this is starting to look like. The tricky thing about this is, like, going down, when I click down, it actually brings the arrow up. And this is because when you're changing your transform, if I hit down, that means I'm going down on the y-axis. So we're going to do a couple more, probably 5 more, and then I'm going to play this back so we can start to see what it's looking like. Again, this effect is very unique. But like I said, if I got cut off, I was saying, like, you could use this on a beach and track someone's head as they're walking, and you can really just like play with it. The more motion, the harder it is to do this, and the longer it'll take. But so in this time we've done 3 seconds. So let's see what that 3 seconds looks like. We don't need our mask layer since that is just our key layer. So let's see what this looks like. Boom. So yeah, as you can see, it's starting to. We're keying every frame, and that's the general idea. Zooming in, and then it's going to be following that phone. So once we get done, it'll start to become more evident of what's going on. And I'm going to try to figure out a way to smooth all this out. I don't necessarily know if I just make it Bezier on all of them, if it'll like make it more smooth. Yeah, so Bezier definitely made it a little bit more smooth. But I want to finish this out so that you can see what the full effect of it is. Because only using like a little bit, you won't get the full effect. Like I said before, if you just joined the stream, this is what we're going to be like, creating something like this. This is what brought the idea. I drew something down, and this is like the smooth version of this effect. I just wanted to try it with a different example. So it's pretty awesome, but it does take a lot of time. So let's bring back our mask layer and use that as our example layer. What? And click on here, move 1 frame forward, lock our mask layer. We just need this. Zoom in a little bit, and we can continue to moving on. We have to click the motion tab again, because remember, if we do any motion, we have to adjust that tab. Otherwise, it won't work. And go in here. That looks good. So what kind of questions do you guys have for me? Like while I'm editing this tedious long process. You can also click and drag. It's sometimes finicky, but it may be faster if you just want to click and drag these things around. Actually, it's a lot faster clicking and dragging. And I can zoom in to like 100%. Let's even zoom into 150 so I can get a really good track onto there. So we have Nice Bro from Food TV. Thank you. It's a lot of fun making these things. Again, I just kind of moved in a little bit. I'm going to change the resolution to full because maybe that'll change it to full. Definitely will slow your program down a little bit, but it'll allow you to see a little more defined resolution. I'm going to drag this over here to make sure we're still creating keyframes. So, apart from tutorials for the 14 people in here, well, thank you, Dorian, for the silver play button. That was awesome. It's sitting in my room, and it definitely motivates me every day to continue and make more videos for you guys. But apart from making tutorials, are there anything else that you guys actually like on my channel? Because a lot of people say they love my projects, they love my vlogs. You know, it's like I don't want to swarm you guys with all that stuff. That's why I've created different series. But I think as a creator, they allow me to push myself to the limits, you know. So it's definitely something that I would recommend. Like my friend Grant, he's just starting a YouTube channel, or he's trying to grow it, and I told him, I was like, dude, start making vlogs. And he's like, no, dude, that's not me. And I was like, a vlog can be anything. Like I make my vlogs cinematic and stuff. So it's pretty much anything you want it to be, you know. So also I should probably save. There we go. Ghoul said, I just had an idea. Could you use tracking null layer from After Effects and parent and pan to crop? That way you won't need to key the frames. Just a thought. So yeah, you can. Ghoul, that's exactly what I did. So I created a null object, and I used the tracker tool to track the null of the front of the pen. But now remember, when you're auto tracking, it won't always be perfect. So that's what I did. And then I parented the camera tool to my null in After Effects, and that way the camera follows my null object. So that's a really quick way. However, this is a different way that I'm testing out because I want to do this completely in Premiere, and to see if it'll get similar effects. Now this isn't like probably going to be like the final tutorial, you know what I mean? Like I always try to find the most efficient way to do things. But however, if I would track this in After Effects, I would track my whole arm and hand, and it's definitely something I can play around with. But you're exactly right. That's how you would do it in After Effects. However, Premiere Pro doesn't have tracking unless you're doing like mask, and some effects you can track. However, it's not that efficient, honestly, in my experience. So I think I'm preparing for like a phone. So I'm just going to go a couple frames since it's not moving. Alright. Our shipper said, your travel videos are amazing. Thank you so much. Honestly, it motivates me to keep making them. I just like making them because like it's a memory. You know what I mean? So it's like you use this to like show your kids when you grow up and stuff like that. So I think I'm preparing for a flip. We'll get through this flip and then we'll play it back from the beginning. So now I'm going a couple frames at a time, and when there's a lot of motion, I'll go like one frame at a time. So this is something I do with my phone all the time. It's actually called a tray flip in skateboarding terms, but I figured out how to do it with my phone in kind of an efficient way, I guess you could say. Most of the time I always get it, but sometimes I don't. It's just a simple release, and then you flick with your index finger. Oh, actually, I'm bringing it up for a phone call. Well, that's alright. I'll track up here. I know the flip's later on, so I'll probably just get to the flip and then end the live stream and kind of go to like your guys' questions and stuff. But think I heard her voice. Not entirely sure. Sometimes, because my door's open, so sometimes my family like scares me. My sister when she's home. But, what's up, Peter from South Africa? And Ghoul, no problem. That's what I'm here for. That's why I like live streams, because it's easy for me to interact with my subscribers and stuff. Even though I don't get a lot of views, most people don't really view live streams. They'll watch it after the fact. I haven't figured out the best time for me to stream, but if live streams are something that you guys like, which I like them because it allows me to communicate to you in a live manner. Like, and if you guys have any questions, I can literally ask them. Or you can literally ask them right away. So when there's not a lot of motion, I'll jump a lot of frames. Versus when there is motion, it's just kind of the rough idea. So let's take a step back and see where we are and play this from the beginning so we can see without this layer. So boom, we zoom in. Yeah, so this is getting to the general idea. Now it's a little rough and it doesn't look as smooth as some of the other ones. And I honestly think this Bezier should smooth out these frames. But I don't know for sure. So it's still a little jittery. And that's, well, it's a lot smoother actually. So this is something that, like, for example, if we were creating like a quick little effect, like I would do a speed ramp maybe on this zoom in to there and do a speed ramp. See what that looks like. Yeah, so like we're already getting interesting effects, you know. So maybe if it's like you do a speed ramp to this, slow it back down, and then you do like a speed ramp to this, couple frames. So then we get some like interesting, like boom, boom. You know what I mean? So it's like we can already like smooth it out and have some fun with this. But for the sake of everything, I'm gonna keep going on because I might learn something else about this. And I'm actually gonna make all of these linear again because I don't want them to be Bezier yet. So yeah, just bring back our color mat, use that as our tool, and zoom in a little bit. Click on this layer, lock that one, and go back to that keyframe. So, is this going to be worth it? I don't know. Is anything worth it when you are making tutorials? You know what I mean? It's like the only way to figure out how to do this stuff is to play around. I think the best effect is going to be going one frame at a time. And you can honestly do it pretty quickly, like how I'm doing it. So, let's see. No problem, Ghoul, for the answer. I think aside from the tutorial series, my favorite of yours would be the project and review series. Have you ever thought about reviewing software, like free, cheap alternatives? So yeah, I actually have thought about adding stuff, software for free, cheap alternatives to Premiere, because I actually do get requests for people to like edit softwares and show it on my channel for like sponsored videos and stuff. However, excuse me, I haven't really shown much because I haven't found free software that I would use. You know what I mean? I want to show you guys the highest possible software or highest possible quality of gear, and if it doesn't meet my standards, then I'm not going to show you guys it. You know what I mean? But I definitely do like that. I have a lot of stuff coming up on the review series. I've just been swamped with everything, and I don't want to swarm you with products, because ideally I want to be a channel that is covering everything tech and video related stuff. So if I can have products from companies and show you guys this stuff for discounts and like do sponsored bits that will give you guys coupon codes and free products, that's what I want to do, because I'm just here to grow the community and help each other out along the way. So a lot of people don't like some of my sponsored videos. Like, I'll get a lot of dislikes on them. However, that's how I make money. Like, this is my living. Like, YouTube is my stuff. So that's what I do. And I'm sorry if some of the sponsored bits you don't like, but like my last video, for example, I did a sponsored video on Selfie. No, Selfie. I always say it wrong. And Selfie is the company that I use to sell all of my preset packs. And some people were like, oh, I just unsubscribed from you because it's straight up ad. I was like, all right, my man. Like, Selfie reached out to me, and I was like, well, I'll do this, but what can you give my subscribers? So it actually give you a 20% off discount code. I could see it from both sides, how some people don't like sponsored stuff, but I wouldn't show it on my channel unless it didn't help you, because Selfie is how I sell all of my products and make a living off YouTube. So to show you guys something like that, how you can make money in your sleep too, like, that's a huge benefit, you know what I mean? Especially giving a 20% off discount code. That's pretty awesome. So that's how I feel about sponsored stuff. I definitely want to do more in the future, but I really want to do more giveaways. And I honestly want to bring back the contest series, because I want to grow the Instagram platform and allow you guys to really share your stuff online. Because if you don't share your stuff, then no one's ever going to see it, you know? Peter, what's up from South Africa? Is there a new video? Exactly, like I just said that. MHF, ideally there's going to be a new video contest soon. I just have to figure out what it is. I really want to do a collaboration project as well, but I don't want to just like hand out money like free, you know what I mean? I want you guys to work for it. Like, if I do discount codes and like Amazon gift cards, I want you to have to like put the effort in, because a lot of people just kind of like, oh, I made a video and here it is. Like, I want you to like spend time on it, you know? So I just had someone subscribe, I think. Nice. So let's see. So sad that amazing content creators like you don't get the views you deserve, but keep on grinding. Hey, I appreciate it. Like I said, I'll only get like a couple of viewers, like probably 10 to 20, sometimes more, like 50, 40, like when it's like later on in the day. But if you go back and look at my live streams, people comment on them and they're like, oh, I'm so sad I missed this, you know? So they definitely watch it later, if not today. But also, speaking of projects and traveling stuff, Red, White, and Boom is like a huge firework display in Columbus, and I was thinking about going with my sisters. However, I was also thinking about making a vlog out of it, since I haven't done a vlog in a long time, just to push myself and see what I can make, like showing fireworks, you know, stuff like that. So I might go down there. I might hit up a friend of mine and see if he's in town as well to create a video with it. I think that'd be awesome. Man, I've been on this ear for like ever. Cool. Well, we're almost done. We're getting there. So I'm enjoying this conversation though, even though if it's with a couple people, I still enjoy it, because like I said in a lot of my videos, I don't change how I act or what I do, content I make based on my viewers. Even if I had 1,000 people watching this right now, I'd still be doing the same stuff. It would just be a lot harder to communicate with everyone. Oh, I'm finally pulling it away from my ear. Nice. So, what's up, Ben? Hello, Kyler. Nick said, hello from the Netherlands. It's 12:30 in the morning there. Wow. Yeah, that's pretty early. You're dedicated. Watch stream. I love the videos you make. I really appreciate it. I like making videos. I think it gives me something to do. Our shipper says, go, Nick. Whatever that means. Sometimes I can't understand another language, but that track wasn't the best. So we're still coming through here, and this is such a unique thing that I don't even know if I'm going to use it, but I just want to get through the whole process to make sure it would be something that I could show you guys in a tutorial. Like, I mean, we've only been live for, what, 30 minutes-ish, and I've been talking and chatting. You can get through 10 seconds in probably 15 minutes if you're pretty quick at it. But remember, like, if you want something to be good, take the time to make it good, because that's something that a lot of people don't have. People don't have patience when they're editing. I edit extremely fast, so I have a little bit more patience, but think about like the avatar. Like I'm pretty sure it took 1 day to make just like 6 seconds, or maybe it was a week to make. I think it was a week to make 6 seconds. But if you take the time, it really shows, you know. So we keep going through here. This is where I'm starting the phone flip that I was talking about earlier. But Nick said he's talking Dutch. It means good job, Nick. A lot of people think I'm Dutch because of my last name, but I'm actually not. I think I'm like 5% German or something like that. I gotta double check. But yeah, for the 14 people that are in here, just feel free to ask me anything. I'll pretty much answer you guys' questions. I also started something on Fiverr, which is like a service that you guys can use to sell your digital products or your like work stuff. And I'm actually trying it out and seeing if I can make some extra money on it, and doing video editing for like $5 here and there. But if you do like 100 people, that's like $500. You know what I mean? So it's like, it would be like minimal video editing, but maybe I'll do like Instagram edits. Like if you guys have clips and stuff, then I could like just edit that into an Instagram video, which a lot of people do. Like that's something that I want to grow as a platform. So this is the flip. But it's definitely a way, because I'm always looking out for ways for you guys to make more money, and I'm also looking at ways to, for me to make more money, because I like sharing my experiences. Because if you guys are YouTubers alike, then you definitely want to learn how to make money on your own. Because when you say I'm going to be a YouTuber, it's like if you start out with that idea to make a ton of money, you're not going to make it. Like I just love sharing my creativity, and I like that we have a community where we have people who can just like jump in a live stream and say, hey, what's up, dude? Rodrigo says, hi from Mexico. Thanks for the tutorials. You are great. Smiley face 100. Thanks, dude. I love making videos. You guys know that. I'm just here to make your day easier and figure out the best of all these processes. So yeah, let's fit this and see what we got up to that point. Let's minimize this guy. Is this going to be worth it? Is all this 30 minutes that we've spent going to be worth it? Let's see. Pulls out the phone. What's going on? He's literally tracking the phone. I don't believe it. So yeah, that looks cool. So I think this effect is actually doable when this doesn't look as good. When there's less motion, it kind of sucks. However, when there's more motion, like right here, boom, that is sick. Like imagine if you were like, I don't know what to say. Like if you were going into a shot and you're just like, boom, check that out. Like I could literally loop that. But so this effect would actually be cool with more motion. So the more motion there is, the better this effect is. So it's doable. It just takes some time. I want to know your guys' thoughts on something like this. I could definitely make a tutorial on it. It'd be a fairly quick one. But you could use this technique, and this is completely manual tracking. You can do it as fast as you want. So my theory is, on these parts like this, where there's less motion and stuff, I could literally go in here, and this is just a test, delete all these keyframes, and if I delete them, theoretically these should smooth out to each other. So yeah, so see how like even smoothing those out, I could delete a couple more and go to the beginning to see, as long as it's a linear and a straight line, then it should be fine. So let's see what this looks like. So then it smooths that out. Boom. Do you see that? So if it's in a straight line, it looks a lot smoother, like very smooth, and then but when there's a lot of motion, you don't notice that. So this is pretty exciting. So we're just going to keep everything in for now and finish this guy out and continue the conversation. So let's go in, zoom in, 150, go to the end, click this button to go to the previous keyframe, bring back in our color matte. I'm pretty happy. That actually looked pretty cool. I knew it was going to look something, like I knew it was going to look unique. I just didn't know what it was going to look like. You know what I mean? Because you spend so much time on it, and it's like, I want this to look good. So, we'll see. Peter says, motion, blur, and a bit of zoom would look cool. Yes. So, the sad thing is, Premiere doesn't have motion blur. However, the process that I would want to use requires us to use the effect transform. I could drag transform onto here, and from transform, I could uncheck use composition shutter and change the shutter angle to like 150, because basically the higher the number in between 0 and 360 creates more motion blur. I've done a tutorial on that in the past. So if I would have done this whole thing in that area, then it would have been motion blur and it would look awesome, I think. However, I couldn't find an effective way to move just by clicking, which I really wanted to do, because it would make it really hard. Like, I would have to go like this, and it wasn't, that's the position. The other one was the anchor point, I think. Yeah, so I had to click like position, and it just wasn't working. Like, I couldn't click and drag this around without getting to that center point. It wouldn't let me just click on the transform and move this around. So I would literally have to go in here and manually drag and play with all these numbers, which I wasn't a fan of. Even if I hit the up and down arrow key, like, to move this around, it wouldn't let me. So that's why I made it in the motion, so I can just click and drag. However, if you made it in the transform tab, you could create this motion blur. And to best explain it, I'll just do like a position right here, and then I'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 frames, and move this to the right over here. So playing this back with this unchecked and shutter angle of 0, you'll see it looks like this. Boom. Boom. And if I pause it in the middle, you'll see that it's frozen. You know, nothing's happening. We'll move it back a little bit so you can see it. Boom. It's going across. No motion blur. Now if we use composition shutter angle and change this to 150, notice how instantly there's motion blur. Now this motion blur would look something like this. So that motion blur adds that value that we really want. And just going in here anywhere in the center, anytime there's a movement, it'll create motion blur. And we can change this all the way to 360 to get intense motion blur. It basically just ripples the effect. So now it looks like this. So that looks smooth. Like, that motion blur looks very smooth. So that's why I wanted to use the transform effect. However, for this technique of creating keyframing frame by frame, I really needed the ability to click and drag this around just so I could make it faster. So yes, that would look better doing it that way, but I think it would take twice, if not 3 times as long. I wish Premiere had motion blur built in like After Effects does, because After Effects, you can literally click one button and the object, anytime there's movement anywhere, it just adds motion blur. Now I get it, Premiere's not for the effects emphasis on After Effects. However, I think that would be a great tool, like, honestly. So another question I have often is, like, I have a lot of people who watch my stuff and they just don't say anything. And I'm always curious about that, because a lot of times when I make videos, I want feedback. Like, I want it to be a conversation, and there's no real way to increase that. So it's like, I want to be able to talk more to comments and respond, because a lot of people have questions, and a lot of people hit me up on Instagram or like Twitter and ask me these questions, and I'll answer them. So I guess here's the plug. If you don't follow me on Instagram, follow me on Instagram at Kyler Holland, and I'll be able to answer you guys' questions like pretty much instantly. Sometimes I get bogged down a lot and it takes me a little bit to respond, but yeah, that's how I help you guys out. So we have check under obsolete transition. I have motion blur in my Premiere. So this effect, if you look at motion, I don't have it. Obsolete. Where are you at? Okay, it's fast blurs. So you can create your own blurs. Like, to fake motion blur, when you're doing transitions, all you do is a directional blur in the direction that you're moving, and then you can add that motion blur. However, it's just a pain. But no, Premiere does not have like a great motion blur yet, which I wish they did. Shout out Premiere Pro, make some motion blur. But yeah, I think on the older ones they had a motion blur, and I don't think it was like actually motion blur, unless I just looked in the wrong spot. We are almost done. We literally have 2 seconds left. And I just want to speed through this. 60 frames, clicking it. About 3 seconds for each frame. 20 seconds. So probably about 2 minutes. Yeah, so probably about a minute every no. So probably about 2 minutes for every second. Dang. That sucks. I think my sister's home. But yeah, once I finish this out, I'm probably gonna go to 11 seconds or just finish it here. Yeah, I'm actually gonna finish it here. So let's just click and drag both of these to this point and check out what we have. I don't need my color mat anymore since I just used that for the marker. And boom, this is what we have. So like I said, when there's less motion, it doesn't look as good. But when there's like a lot of motion, it's pretty cool. So like just imagine if you pulled out a watch out of your bag of some sort. And I'm going to also right click on all of these and change it to Bezier. Let's do spatial. Temporal Bezier. Alright, Nick said, how do you come up with editing ideas like these? I would get them from you. Well, sometimes I see stuff. Other times I just have an idea, like I was writing, and I was like, oh, that'd be cool. And for this one, I was like, I really wanted it to be able to like pull something out of your pocket and have the camera track it exactly. Like I think it was the Humble music video that they track the eye and stuff, and it's really nice, but I wanted to figure out how can I manipulate this to make it look cool. So like something like that looks awesome. I think this last little bit is more effective than the first little bit. To make it as smooth as possible. So I also wonder if I duplicated this layer, and then let's see, let's go to Ghost. Where's the echo effect? So let's drag that echo effect onto there. Maximum. So yeah, echo kind of is interesting. Number of echoes. Let's make it 5 echoes. I did a tutorial on this in recent times. Let's change it to minimum. So that's interesting. Starting decay 0. 0.1. It's always about playing around with anything. 5. Okay, let's drag this to the top and change the top onto an overlay of multiply or screen. Probably screen. And just bring that opacity down to 50. Let's render out that last little bit. But it's mainly just playing around. Garav said, hey, what's going on? Garav, if that's how you say your name. I might mispronounce it. But so yeah, the easy answer is just play around in Premiere. The hard answer is write stuff down and pray you come up with something, because I feel like I'm always pressured to find the coolest technique or something, and that's something that I strive to do. So it's definitely fun. I think this is bogging my computer down. So we'll just lower my resolution and see what's going on. Nice. Don't you love when Premiere just does this to you? Okay. Well, it really didn't like that last little bit. So we're going to close today with a quick little recap. We kind of keyframed a ton of keyframes to get this effect. And this effect is something that we're going to be playing around with in the near future, of tracking objects and figuring out the best way to do it. So it's actually pretty cool, but I'm excited to see what I make. But thank you guys for jumping in the stream and asking me some questions. I hope the streams get bigger in the future, so we can make it more of a community collab. But before we go, Peter said, can you show slow motion with speed ramping together on this clip? So yeah, since I did shoot it in 60, I'll just go to speed and duration, make it 40, because it doesn't look too terrible. So we're walking. I think it'd be cool if I speed ramped up to the face, so clearing it out. Let's make a cut, and boom, a speed ramp up to there. Right, let's shift plus right click, motion, time mapping, actually, sorry, speed. I don't need a cut, actually. Okay, so click right here. This is where we want to create our keyframe. And joystick. What? Oh, there we go. Let's see. So from here, we want to speed up the... Why is it not letting me... Oh. Something is wrong, because it's not letting me... Why is it not letting me do that? Time remapping speed. Oh, there we go. I was like, this is the wrong thing. So, remember, we're here up to here. So remember, we're going to speed ramp this part up to the face. And let's make that really fast and blend that out a little bit. So now it looks like this. Yeah, cool. So the easiest way to do a speed ramp like this, if you want it to be smooth, is choose the in point that you want to start it and choose the out point that you want to start it, and then increase the speed and then just blend it with the first one. So now we have that. It's nice and slow.